Flosstube! Welcome back, or welcome if you're new. My name is Jess and this is my little corner of the cross-stitch community on YouTube. My pronouns are she and her, and my Instagram and YouTube channels I'm going to put below. They're both cross-stitch Jess. So welcome back. It's Flosstube number 5. I can't believe I've done 5 already. It seems a bit nuts. I still kind of can't believe I did 1. I wanted to start off with some thank yous and some reflections. So for anyone who watched my first Flosstube, I talked a little bit about why I wanted to do this. It was quite an impulse decision, but ultimately it was to try and improve my presenting skills, get a bit more comfortable talking, just talking. Having worked from home for a long time, not had to do much presenting at work, that's something I just want to get a bit more back up to speed with. I've learnt a lot. It's been really useful, and especially editing and watching myself back, there are definitely times where I'm sat there thinking, oh, just shut up, stop waffling. So a couple of things that I want to consciously now start to change about the way I present. Less ums. That it's okay to just have a moment of silence while I gather my thoughts. I don't need to fill that with noise. That one's probably going to be quite hard to break, and I'm going to become really self-conscious about it, but I think that will just come with time, I guess. The second thing is being a bit more succinct. You guys won't see this so much because it's the one thing that I edit out, but I have a tendency when I'm planning, like I have a little notes app where I sort of keep track of what I've worked on during a month, things I bought that I might want to share, that kind of thing. And sometimes there'll be something like my upcoming December new start plans that I will make a conscious decision that I don't want to go into because I'll waffle and it's quite early to be talking about that. And I'll mention it like, oh, I'm going to have some new starts in December. And then I'll feel the need to elaborate, even though I consciously decided I didn't want to do any more than just mention it. So doing it now. So yeah, that's something that I want to work on, catching myself in the moment rather than catching it retrospectively. Yeah, something to work on. And the last one is stopping saying sorry. I feel like I've been really good throughout, even from my first episode, of catching myself as I say it and being like, do you know what, I'm not sorry. And I've caught myself doing it in person, so particularly with the stockings, I've enabled quite a few people on that, which I'm not sorry for, because they're really lovely patterns and I'm happy that other people are now getting to enjoy them. But I've caught myself apologising for enabling people instead of saying, I'm really glad you like them and that you want to stitch them too, I hope you enjoy them. So yeah, I've been good at catching myself saying it, but I want to continue to catch myself when I do say it, and to catch myself before I say it and change what I'm saying to, you're welcome, like I'm glad you like that pattern, or thank you, that was really flattering that you liked my stitching enough to want to stitch it yourself. So yeah, some really interesting lessons that I've learn't, and I already feel more comfortable doing this. Yeah, so thank you for those of you who have come along on this start of this journey with me. I knew putting it out there people might watch it. I didn't expect anyone to watch it. I've been blown away by how many people have watched it, and really appreciative of all the lovely comments and support along the way. So thank you, and I hope you continue to enjoy watching me figure out how to talk. Okay, so in terms of going forwards, particularly on that being a bit more succinct, I'm really conscious that my last episode was like I can't remember, an hour and a half. It was almost as long as my whip parade. So gonna try and be a little bit more snappy, a little bit more to the point. And with that in mind, I'm going to try and stick to a rough plan of how long I spend on different topics. I'm also adding something in. So I was going to do a mid-month video in October. Things were just too busy, just didn't work for me, it's fine. And I also came to the conclusion that the thing I wanted to talk about was maybe better done as a little one each episode. What I was going to do was a tools and tips video, like my favourite 5 tools or tips. Instead, I'm going to do them at the start of each video. I'm going to do a quick 5-minute, here's a tool that I found really helpful that you might not know about, just to share, because there are lots of things that I might think are obvious because I've always used them that other people might not know. Likewise, please in comments tell me the one thing that you wish that you'd known sooner. I might already know it, I might not, other people might not know it and see it, so we can all share those tips. That's going to be a quick 5 minutes at the start of the video, a quick life update, what I've been up to, mostly stitchy focused in terms of like retreats or stitchy days, that kind of thing. Stitching update, I'm going to try and keep it to 20 minutes. I have doubts. I'll try, I'll do my best. And then a quick 5 minutes at the end on upcoming plans. So without further ado, I've already waffled for 7.5 minutes, so let's crack on with today's handy tool that you probably won't know about because it's a thing that I've made. I'm going to try and do some editing wizardry to squish myself over here and add in a little screen recording so that you can see what I'm talking about. I've already essentially said what it is, but this is a local needlework shop map. It's a thing that I've made in Google Maps and it's essentially a saved list of these locations. The cool thing about it is I've added comments. They're mostly on ones that I visited, so I've obviously first-hand experience of what they had there, but also some of the people who told me about some of these shops added things like you have to call ahead to be allowed to go in, you can't just show up, or that I think there was one where it had moved location but it hadn't updated on Google Maps, so there's just a note to say it's not exactly where the pin is, that kind of thing. Yeah, so this is a shareable map. I will have included the link in the description box below. What you can do is click on that link and if it will take you to Google, it will show you on Google Maps. Each of the shops will be a little sort of scissors icon on the map of the UK, and yeah, you can click on them, you can see the comment if I've added a comment or a note, and yeah, go visit local needlework shops and give them some support. Couple of caveats, this is to the best of my knowledge. If there's any missing, please let me know. I will happily add more and try and keep it up to date. Obviously bear with me, I'm human, I have a full-time job and life, very busy at the moment, but I will try and keep up, especially with comments on this particular video. Let me know and I will get them added in. Likewise, if you spot any that are no longer open, I think is it Smugglers in Ilfracombe in Devon, which I'm gutted about because that's just around the corner from where I used to live, and I never knew it was there because I didn't cross stitch at the time, but apparently that's permanently closed now. But if you spot any that are no longer there, or if you try and visit one and they've got like special conditions, like you have to let them know that you're coming, let me know and I will try and keep it as up to date as possible. Obviously give them a ring, check on their website before you travel. Don't go like 2 hours out of your way to visit a shop just because it's on the map, because I take no responsibility. It may no longer be there, they may no longer stock what you want. But yeah, link below. Let me know of any that you think I've missed. There are some on there as well that are more like general craft shops that happen to have cross stitch supplies. There's one that I've been to in I want to say it's Truro Fabrics, which is primarily a fabric shop but has a cross stitch section. Same for some yarn shops that have cross stitch stuff. So yeah, it's pretty broad. I've tried to include in the comments if it's not primarily a cross stitch shop, but yeah, let me know any I've missed. And once you've opened it in Google as well, you can, I think by default it sort of saves it to your account. On my Google Maps I can go to saved and I can see it here, and if I, oh no, wrong one, if I click on the 3 dots it gives me a hide this map, and obviously if it's hidden it will give you the option to view this map. So it will then be in your sort of Google Maps on your phone for you to access on the go. So that's it, that's my quick 5 minutes on a handy tool that you might not know about. Let me know if there's any tips or tools that you would love me to share. I'm planning to show my floss storage and my swatch box. I recently reorganised my fabric, so that's a system that I have found helped a lot with finding the right fabric for a project. Yeah, anything and everything you might want to know. I stitch in the sewing method, so maybe I'll do a little mini tutorial on how I do that. Finishing tutorials, let me know what you want to see. I've got some ideas, but I'd love to know what you have that you'd like to hear about as well. Cool. So moving on, quick life update. So October's been a bit of a continued insanely busy month from September. I've been traveling a lot. It's been a lot of birthdays, so I went to Tan's birthday stitchy day at the start of the month. Outside of that, one of my crafty friends, Jade, had a birthday. My husband's birthday, my dad's birthday, my mother-in-law's birthday. So it's been a bit of a crazy month, lots of going to visit people. We also, John and I went on a little 4-night cruise trip across to Ireland to Cork for the day, which was much needed, and it was a little bit of a trial to see if we like that style of holidaying. Normally we would do like a cheap and cheerful all-inclusive for like 5 nights a week, something like that. So this was a bit of a like, can we do that and not need to fly somewhere sort of thing, and get like interesting days out in different places but without having to organise our own travel in between. So that was really lovely. Got lots of stitching done and we played lots of board games. It was great. Last weekend on Saturday I went to a stitchy day in Birmingham. I can't remember if I've mentioned this before, but it's a lovely group. Anyone who's in the West Midlands and might want to come to that, I will include a link below to the Facebook group. It's normally a monthly meet up on a Saturday afternoon in a cafe in town, and it's free. We buy drinks and food from the cafe to support them and thank them for letting us use the space. But yeah, I'll include a link below to the Facebook group for that. While I was there, a couple of the ladies, and in particular Hilary, one of the 2 ladies who organises the meetups now, was saying that the Creative Craft Show is in Birmingham this weekend and that they were going on Thursday. So off I went home, and first thing on Monday asked very nicely if I could have the Thursday off work. I'm not on a project at the moment, so work were, my line manager was very kindly okay with that. And I went to the Creative Craft Show and it was amazing. It was knackering. I am paying for it today in terms of being tired, but it was really good. And yeah, helped me get some bits towards my December starts, some new fabrics. Yeah, so it's been a lot. It's been a really busy month. Yeah, but there was lots of stitching, so that was good. And on the note of stitching, I have, let me count, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I have fully finished 8 things. I don't really know, I don't know who I am. This is a bit nuts. So I'm going to go through those quickly. I think most of them I've shown on here before, when they were stitched finishes. most of them were finishes from previous months. Only one was a start and finish and fully finished this month, so I'll do that one last. So first things first is my Magic School blackwork pieces. So this is part of a set of 25, and I have 3 of them that I've fully finished. So this is the smallest one on, I think, 18 count. It's a printed fabric. I can't remember the name of this one, but I know I got it from Lakeside, so I will pop the details on the banner just below. This one is the Faemancer, so all things sort of magic, mystical, and it's got a dragon and the rainbow, and I love this one. So that's number 1. Number 2 is also on 18 count, but just in a slightly bigger frame. This one is the Amomancer, which is magnetism. Sorry, the glare's quite bad on the glass there. You getting off? Go on. Amomancer, magnetism, and as I say, this is the same 18 count. That was the first one I did. And then the last one is the Astromancer, which is much bigger. This is over 2 on 14 count. I forgot to say, the fabric on the previous one, I don't know where it's from. It was a destash that I think I got from Tan, maybe. And likewise, this one was a destash that I got at the Shoutouts retreat. That didn't have a label, so I don't know where it's from. And this one's stitched in 12 weight sulky, Guttermann sulky, not sulky. The other ones are done in 30 weight sulky, and then when I do like the in-betweens, like the 16 and 14 count ones, they will be done in DMC. So those are my first 3. Oh, really unhelpful spot there, Alfie. Next we have Squirrelly. So I finished stitching this. This might have been on my first Flosstube actually. I think on my whip parade I showed that I'd started it, and then my first update at the end of August, must have been end of August, I showed this fully stitched, and then I've just backed it with some felt that I had and glued the magnet on. So that one is, no, this is not a squirrel for chasing. This one is going to be a gift for my nan. It's her birthday at the end of this month, so that will be going to her because she has a bunch of fridge magnets on her oven, and I thought that'd be a cute addition to go with a hedgehog cross stitch that I've done for her before, which wasn't a magnet, but still. Next up I have Dreaming of Summer SAL. Sorry Alfie, you're getting blocked out. I don't know why he finds it so like interesting sniffing the things that I'm showing when I'm recording, but yeah, this is the Dreaming of Summer SAL. It is on, I want to say 18 count Kaylux fabrics. I don't think she dyes and sells anymore. She's a fabric seller in the US. The pattern, I didn't say, Squirrelly is, I would have put it below, but Squirrelly is a mill hill, and the Blackwork Magic Schools are a circle cross pattern. This one is Dreaming of Summer and was a stitch along from Love Poppet, and I've just customised it to make this house look like our house. And if I hold it up close, you can see there's a tiny Alfie in the window. I'm so happy with that. It's still like maybe my favourite thing I've done in cross stitch this entire year. I haven't stitched this in the called for. It's probably about 2/3 called for, and then the last third I've just done substitutions based on what I had in stash. And the colour for the house is a cottage garden. Cottage garden? I think it's cottage garden threads from Rachel at Talking Dog Stitchery, and she very helpfully, I sent her pictures of my house and she helped me pick a colour, just because I don't trust picking that kind of thing based on the colours that show up on screen. That's that one. And then, pardon the weeds, we're feeding the bees. This, what's this fabric? I think this might also be a Kaylux Fabrics, but I think this one's a 16 count. And then the design is Emma Congdon from the Cross Stitch for the Earth book, and that's all in the called for. I love this one, and both of those, so the Dreaming of Summer and the Pardon the Weeds, fit in these two these two gaps on my shelves, so I've gotten them down just to show you all. I'll go back up in a minute. Cool, so that's 6 of the 7. I think I said 7. 3, 4. Oh no, one more here. So this, I don't know what this is going to show. This is a knitted cushion cover that I made. It was a DMC kit. It does not fit this cushion very well. This cushion used to be in one of these covers, and I didn't realise quite how much they had stuffed the cushion in, but when I got it out, it's like a good sort of 3 or 4 inches bigger in every direction, so I might have to find a smaller cushion for it. So the fully finish on this was weaving in my ends and sewing up the sides. I was planning to use it as a project bag, but it's ended up being bigger than I expected once I'd sewn it shut, but it's obviously smaller than this cushion. I might take this off of the cushion, fabric line it as I originally intended, and I might use it as like a yarn bag or something, like a project bag for things that aren't flat, because I wouldn't want to put any paper in this or any needles because I'm not convinced they'd stay inside. I'd be a bit worried that they'd poke through, so maybe this is going to be my yarn storage bag. It looks a bit hideous with the cushion sticking out, but it's got all different types of stitches. This was my first time knitting since I was about 6. I know Mum taught me when I was little, but I've not really knitted since, so there's lots of different types of stitch on there. Took me a while to get going. I definitely ripped the whole thing out and restarted at least once, but I did enjoy it. It's not converted me to knitting, but I enjoyed it nonetheless. Cool, so that is 7 fully finishes, and then the last one is something that I've made. It's a crochet project. I've made it and gifted it already, but I was organised and I did film a Past Jess, so over to Past Jess to show you my final fully finish. Hi Flosstube, it's Past Jess, and I just wanted to pop on quickly and yeah, show you my little finish that I started and finished this weekend. It's not cross stitch, but yeah, something a little bit different. It's a little kitty cat. So I've made this for my friend Jade. It's her birthday tomorrow, but we're seeing her today. And I guess much credit and appreciation goes to Stitch with Beth, who stitched one of these for our friend Tan, and I totally stole the idea, and she helped me with getting the right pattern and the right yarn. But I've actually really loved making a couple of crochet projects this year. This one, they're just dead simple, and I saw a reel recently where someone was saying, for the ADHDers out there, if you want to try crochet, don't start with granny squares. People will always tell you to start with granny squares, and yeah, it's just too easy to get bored really fast, whereas these are really satisfying. This literally took me 2 days, probably even less actually, maybe 24 hours. So yeah, it's my little cat. It's styled after Jade's cat, which is called Beeps. Weird cat name, but yeah, that's Beeps. Back over to future Jess. We're back. Finishes. I have, it depends how you count them. The stockings are kind of like a fully finish, a finish, a whip. They're kind of everything, so we'll get to those last. But finishes, stitching wise, it still has backstitch, so it's not completely done. But this is my Dungeons and Dragons stitch along. This was a stitch along that started in 2022, and I started at the bottom down here and found it really tough going. I just found it really challenging. I would call this an advanced pattern in that there are a lot of colour changes and a lot of backstitch. But I have learnt, and as I've come up, I've learnt that I prefer 1/1 on this fabric, and that I prefer one strand for backstitch regardless of the fabric size. So this month I have stitched the beholder, still got backstitch to go on that one. The potion room, again, backstitch still to go. The elder brain, which has been backstitched. I tell you what, backstitching 310 on top of 939, not a fan, wouldn't do that again. The intellect devourer, and on my last floss tube this absolutely cracked my husband up. So I was talking about big brain with tentacles and little brain with legs. I knew that this one was called the elder brain. I couldn't for the life of me think what the other one is called. Ironically, it's an intellect devourer, and in D&D it eats your smarts. So the fact that I couldn't remember what it was called, quite on point. We've got some goblins here that have been backstitched. So these three are the ones that I've fully done, which was my goal for the month. The mimic, and then the library at the bottom here. So the 4 that I have left to backstitch is the library, beholder, potions room, and the mimic. I think I've said this before, this library, probably about 30-35 different floss colours in the cross stitch, another 25 colours in the backstitch. So I might be taking some liberties, I might be simplifying some of the backstitch on that one. Basically each individual book I think is outlined in its own colour, and then the shelves, it's going to be a lot, but yeah, I am more than on track with this one. My goal for this was just the 3 rooms, and then I was going to do the 4 in November. So the fact that I've done the 3 and done all the cross stitch on the other 4, I really I'm worried that the backstitch is going to put me off and that this isn't going to get done. So I just need to sit down and do it. Might just do it on a weekend day and try and get it all done so it's out of the way. But I'm on track, really happy with how it's coming out, and I really love that this piece is almost like a documentation of my journey and my growth as a cross stitcher. I think it's going to look great in our games room when it's done. Finish number 1. Finish number 2 is a teeny tiny one. This was also a start. This was started 2 days ago. 30th of October, it was Rachel from Talking Dog Stitchery, was her birthday. Find something to hold it up against. And she chose Primitive Hair, the designer, as the stitch along for her birthday. So she asked people to start a primitive hair design with her. I picked this one, which is one of a trio called, I want to say it's Christmas Carol. I did actually intend to start the other small square one because it's quite dense stitching, but it's like a lot of block stitching, and my logic was it would give me something nice and easy to stitch that doesn't need lots of complicated patterns, lots of colours, and it would give me something as an easy stitch throughout November while I'm finishing off my 3 goal projects. Me on Wednesday, my brain didn't engage with that plan. I just started doing this one. I actually started and finished this all in one day. And you can, it's annoying, you can see it more now. You couldn't see it before I washed it, but I've actually on the back buried the threads from those single stitches in the weave of the fabric, and at the time you couldn't see it, but having washed it they've kind of puffed up and you can now see these little shadows. So I am gonna have to unpick that and figure out a way to bury those threads and secure them without without it being quite so obvious. I think it wouldn't be so bad if it was on like a dark fabric, but because it's on white, the shadows show just those ridges where the weave of the fabric is stretched a little bit by it. I'm going to turn this into a little cushion with a little hanger, I don't know which way, but make it a little Christmas tree ornament. And I plan to do the other small square one from the trio the same way. The plan was that was going to be started now. This was going to be one of my December starts, so it's a quick and easy win out of my many, well, 24. So I probably will still start the other one in December. I think even though it's really dense, it's maybe like 1,500 stitches, so still like 2 or 3 days, some nice easy stitching. So that is that. I forgot to say the hashtag, the genius hashtag for Rachel's birthday start along is hashtag hair of the dog Sal, because primitive hair and talking dog. I'm sure she won't mind if you are a little late joining, so if you fancy a primitive hair pattern, go give her a follow, share your start and include the hashtag. And it's been really cool seeing all the different patterns that people have chosen. So that's that one, and then we are into whips, I think. So I guess this, as I said, the stockings kind of bridge between starts, whips, finishes. What I have done, I think this is during the past month, I have finished and beaded the next 4. The wrong way around. There we go. So these are all now fully beaded. You can see, well, you might not be able to see, there's a little bead in each of these berries, and in the number 8, and in these little, oh no, not in the snowflakes, I thought there were. Maybe I've missed those ones. In some of them, this one, there we go. This one's got little red beads on the bauble and a little white bead in the middle of each of these little crosses. So another 4 of those done. I had run out of backing fabric, not backing fabric, lining fabric, but I have placed an order with Sophie from Turtle Bay Stitches, which has now arrived, so I can get those fully finished. And then in the meantime, I've cracked on number 9 dancers dancing and 10 lords a leaping. So those are fully stitched. They just need some interfacing on the back and then beading, and they will also be ready to fully finish. And then, so I've kind of lost track a little bit of the weeks. I intended to finish one every weekend. I think I missed last weekend, so last weekend should have been 9, and I got ahead of myself and did 10 because I thought I was busy all weekend. I've then just gone, I'm close enough, I'm just gonna crack on. So 11 and 12, I've done the numbers and this little bauble. So I'm now essentially fully finishing, like colour completing on these 2, and I can start putting the colours back. On the note of the colours, seeing as they're here, the colours for this. So I have made a couple of changes, excuse these. I started off braiding all of my floss drop threads, and then I got bored. So now they're not braided anymore. But you can see that I've changed a few of these colours, and I'll include the details below. My plan for those, I'm going to crack on with 11 and 12 this weekend, and then hopefully, well, yeah, if I finish those 2 this weekend, I can get them cut out, get everything beaded. Get everything beaded and the machine bit of the sewing done over the next week. And then I'm at Floss Friends a week today. So hopefully by then I will, if I've not fully finished them, all the sewing machine part will be done, and I can do the final finishing while I'm there and have the set done, which will be exciting. Next whip, we have Highland Christmas. I will say my plan to keep my stitching update to 20 minutes is completely out the window. I'm trying to go fast and not waffle, but last whip, Highland Christmas. This is a Bothy Threads kit. I am again stitching this for my nan who loves Highland cows, and I planned, my sort of idea for this was to do a third each month in September, October and November. I think in September I was a little bit behind, but I have now caught up, so this is 2/3 done. All I have left is the... Do you mind? Off. Being very unhelpful. Some legs for the large cow in the middle, and then there is another baby cow. You can kind of just see the very top of its head here. Be another baby cow, and then I think there's a few more snowflakes. You can see them. They do have some sparkly blending filament in them. It doesn't show up very well on camera, but it does give quite a nice effect. So another third to do on that one. I am finding it a little bit of a slog because it is just brown. It's brown and cream and that's it. There is no variation, which is why I quite wanted that nice simple block stitching in red as a bit of a pop of colour, but chipping away at it, I think I will easily get that done, especially knowing that the stockings are almost fully done and the D&D project just has that back stitch to go. This is more than doable, so I will be cracking on with that one over the coming months. And then last bit of stitching, I'm gonna pull up my handy list to make sure that I'm not forgetting anything. Last bit of stitching is another little start, and this one is the Flossabilities Halloween pillow. I started this a couple of weeks ago. I am planning to do the next one. I don't think there's a Christmas one. Correct me, like if you know of a Christmas one of these, let me know. I don't think there's a Christmas, I think it's just winter at the moment. So one of those will be one of my 24 starts in December. But I figured while it's spooky season and I had this perfect little piece of 20 count, I would make a start. So 4 down, 5 little tiles to go. I love how the variation turned out on this pumpkin. This is Barn Grey from... Where's it from? Gentle Arts. There we go. From Rachel, Talking Dog. So yeah, I'm just chipping away on that. I do find it quite slow going. I don't know why. It's not slow. I don't know. Is what it is. But yeah, I will, although Halloween has passed, I probably will. This will probably be in place of that red Christmas theme stitch. It will be my, I just need a monochrome chip away at something that isn't brown. So I don't have a goal. If it doesn't get finished, I'm not that bothered, but I will carry on chipping away at that. So that is all of my stitching. Oh God, hang on. Alfie wants to come say hello, so let's make some space. Stuff everything back in the project bag. Come on then. Come on. Up. Or not. Come on. Oh, ow. That was a bit stabby. Okay, so I have 100% gone over on time for the stitchy part of the update, but hopefully overall this will be a little bit shorter than previously. Last thing to update on then is plans. So finish the D&D backstitch, that is number 1. Finish the stockings, that is number 2. In fact, probably the other way around, but whatever. Number 3, Highland Christmas. Those 3, this time next month, I will be hopefully showing you finished, and maybe even fully finished. We shall see. In the meantime, I will probably carry on chipping away at the Halloween pillow. I appreciate this doesn't make for very interesting updates because you're seeing the same projects over and over again. But those 3 are the focus. In terms of starts, my one planned start, and I have literally only decided this like 5 minutes ago. I've been umming and ahhing. I came across an idea, and I don't know where this is from because prior to doing Flosstube, it didn't occur to me to make a note of where I got ideas from. But I saw an idea. Someone had a cross stitch where I think it had like cats and some cat paws, like a path as if the cat had walked across the aida fabric, whatever. And and they were asking friends to each stitch one of the paws in whatever colour they wanted. So it was kind of like a little bit of a, kind of like a round robin, but like not where you're posting it to people, just when you have a stitchy day with people, be like, oh, like, would you mind adding a paw to this? Love the idea, don't love cats, wanted to do my own thing with it. Someone then, I think I was talking to someone about this idea, and they suggested using a temperature SAL pattern so that it's a small thing for people to add rather than like a portion of a big pattern. And I loved that idea, so I went and found one, bought some fabric yesterday, and have planned my plan. So when this is done, my intent is to make it into a project bag, one of my small ones that basically this, but a little bit taller, because the fabric isn't wide enough to make a sort of horizontal A5 one. So what I've done, I don't know how this is going to show up, I have used heat erasable pen to mark out the hearts and stars of this pattern, and I have charted on some graph paper for myself in the middle. Instead of it saying like the year and the location for the temperature SAL, I've charted the words "Stitchy friends are the best friends," and I will add to that outline as needed. My plan is to take this to Floss Friends with me. Floss Friends was my first weekend retreat this time last year. I'm going back this year, so my plan is to take this along to kind of celebrate a year since I essentially joined the Stitchy community and started making Stitchy friends. It's been an amazing year. I have met some amazing people, some people that I'm really honoured to call friends and really grateful to, because meeting them has been so good for my mental health. So I thought it was a perfect time. This was going to be a December start. I'm going to have to find another one for that slot because I can't wait. Now that I've got the fabric and I've started drawing it out, I'm going to put the first stitches in on that text and then ask some of my friends who are going to be there to choose their own thread, choose their own style, and basically fill a motif, like cross stitch, back stitch, specialty stitches, whatever people want, and put their initials next to it so I know who stitched each one. And like I say, when this is done, you can kind of see here I've mapped out the fabric size. This will become a project bag. Cool. That is my only planned start. So as I said, Floss Friends next weekend. This weekend I'm seeing Beth, and I have bought from her a crochet ghost. I'll include a picture and I'll show you next month because I'm so excited for this. Go watch her crochet with me, follow her on Flosstube Instagram. Yeah. In terms of Flosstube plans, I know I said at the start I'm not committing to this. This is a plan. I think it's Cam that says hopes and dreams. My hopes and dreams for future Flosstube updates. In mid-November, so just after I'm back from Flosstube, oh my gosh, words, Floss Friends. Once I'm back from Floss Friends, I've pre-ordered some things with Lauren from Stitch Bunny. I have pre-ordered some things from Rachel at Talking Dog Stitcher. I need to message Sophie from Turtlebait Stitches because there's a couple of bags in her shop that I want to put dibs on. When I'm back, I'm mostly there, but I'm going to do a video and talk you through my December plans, because I am planning, I know I've probably said this like 3 times already, I am planning 24 starts in December. I have 23 of them because I've just said that I'm going to start one of them early, but I've got 23 planned out. I've got patterns, I've mostly got flosses, I've mostly got fabric. There's a few more that I want to shop for with Lauren in person when I can have a look through all the beautiful fabrics that she has. But yeah, I'm going to do it as its own video because 24 is a lot of new starts to talk through, and I want to share them so that if any of you want to start with me. So high level context, I'm going to do 12 starts of Christmas from the 1st to the 23rd, one every other day, and they're going to go in my little stockings. So that's the first 12, and then I'm also going to do 12 in 12, which is on New Year's Eve. You start a different project every hour, and I think it's meant to be from midday to midnight, but I don't function past 10 p.m, so I'm going to do 10 till 10 instead and do a different start every hour. So mid-November I will do a video talking through all of the new starts. If you want to start one with me, that would be amazing. If you want to do a similar concept and do 12 starts, for either or both, if you're insane like me, but do your own patterns, like whatever you want to do. If you're like, even if you're already stitching any of these patterns, let me know. I love stitching with people. I find it really motivating. I love seeing other people's progress. So yeah, let me know if that's something that interests you, if you're planning to do some new starts in December, and I will be back in a couple of weeks with a proper update on what all of those new starts are, so that you have time to get prepared if you want to join in. And then end of November I will do another update, hopefully with a bunch of my gold projects fully finished, and hopefully with no other new starts than that one planned sort of friendship round robin thing. Mid-December my plan is to do a finish parade for the year, and then end of December will be a whip parade. So that's the rough plan. Whether or not it happens, we shall see. I am very conscious that I'm very fortunate. I'm looking forward to Christmas. I will talk about this a bit more next month because it's close to the time, but I have treated myself this year to a cross-stitch advent calendar. I've also taken part in an advent calendar exchange, and as I've said, I'm also doing a bunch of starts as my own sort of me-made advent calendar. At this time of year though, it's something that I think is always really important to reflect, and I am very grateful. I'm like fortunate to be in the position I am, that I can do these things and treat myself. But as we come up to November, and I wanted to talk about this now and not next month, because I think next month it's sometimes a little bit too late. In November, something I like to do is almost like a reverse advent calendar. So each day I will essentially put something in a box to donate to a food bank, and I'll always try and do this in November rather than December, because it gives time to actually give the food and for that to be distributed. Obviously there's like, it's a really nice thing to do if you have kids. In the month before there's lots of receiving stuff, it's nice to give something first, so even if that's donating toys that they don't use anymore. What I've decided to do this year is I will go and do a separate food shop, and basically I'm planning to buy basically a whole box of advent calendars, like the ones with little chocolates in, to donate to a food bank, because I think it's the kind of thing that they often have like loads of beans and pasta, but they don't necessarily have those Christmassy things. And I thought that would be a nice way for families who perhaps can't afford to spare those couple of quid, to make sure that there are some kids out there that have that perhaps wouldn't otherwise. But I just wanted to throw this in to maybe prompt some other people to think about doing the same, and doing it early so that the food banks have a chance to get those Christmas goodies to people in time rather than at the last minute. I've not done this before, but I did want to give a couple of shout outs. These you'll see. The first one is Stitch in the Matrix. This is a new floss tuber to me, but I happened to watch episode 3, and at the very end, like, lovely stitching, but at the very end she had a lovely sort of closing segment about hope, and the idea that times are really tough in a lot of places. There's a lot of negative stuff in the news, but the very fact that we start these huge cross-stitch projects has an inherent element of hope, that if I'm starting a project that's going to take me 10 years, there's an element of assumption that I'm going to be here for 10 years to stitch on these things, and that is an inherently hopeful act. I just really love that sentiment, so I wanted to give a shout out go give their videos a watch. A couple of others, so Stitch with Beth, I know I've already mentioned, but she has come back to Flosstube. Wow, crochet tube, I don't know, is that a thing? But yeah, she's released a Stitch with me, or a crochet with me, sort of a vlog style of her making the little ghost that she sold. And on that note, she has started selling her finished crochet items. I have bought a little ghost with a little pumpkin hat, which I'm very excited to get tomorrow. I think last time I heard from her, she had 2 left out of the 6. So they are on her Instagram. If you are interested in those, go check her out. And if you don't already follow her, and if you haven't seen her back episodes, go watch them, they're great. And her partner Mark, just go watch. She got him to do a quiz, a stitching quiz, to see how much he knew about her hobby, and it was great. The last, or the third shout out I want to give this particular moment, Stitch Bunny, Lauren. So she released a Flosstube, I want to say it was on Wednesday, a couple of days ago. So the school that her kids go to are raising money to replace and repair some of their playground equipment and get it resurfaced. For reasons that I'll let Lauren explain in her video, the school has to raise a portion of the money towards this. And Lauren is very generously organised essentially a raffle with 3 bundles from her shop. I'm probably going to forget things, so again, go check her out, but you get, I think it's a project bag, 3 pieces of fabric, 3 pairs of scissors, I want to say 3 needle minders as well. And to enter the raffle, you buy a little pattern that she's designed herself on her website, so you also get a pattern whether you win or not. And she also, for everyone who enters, they will receive a discount code for her shop, I think at the start of December. So go give her most recent episode a watch. It's a good cause, and the prize bundles are amazing. Her fabrics are amazing, her project bags are amazing, scissors and needle minders are gorgeous anyway. I'm probably going to spend a lot of money with her next week as it is, but it's a great cause and it's a great chance to win a lovely prize bundle. So yeah, go give those 3 people a watch, and yeah, support people in the stitchy community. The very last thing, and I probably should have mentioned this earlier that I was going to do it, but I'm forgetful, and I've been looking at my notes in order and didn't read them through before I started. I have some giveaways, yay! Excuse buddy. So giveaway number 1 is very kindly been donated by the lovely Sophie from Turtle Bay Stitches. She messaged me and very kindly said that she would like to give me a fat quarter bundle to give away. This fat quarter bundle. So they are gorgeous. They are all sparkly. And she basically said that she had some fabrics in mind that she thought they suited me. And I said, that's very kind, thank you, I would love that. And I, unlike Sherry, I was smart enough to say, I'm gonna want to keep some. So I asked her, can I pay you? So I got a matching one. So 1 to give away to you guys, 1 that I'm keeping and will probably make some project bags with. They are beautifully chosen, gorgeous fabrics. I love especially this tealy colour, it's like my favourite thing. You can see this shelf is blue, the entire wall behind the camera is bright blue. It's my favourite. So if you would like a chance to win this fat quarter bundle, this is going to have to be UK only. Sorry. Yeah, UK only. Please leave a comment below and use the word turtle. Even if you don't win, go check Sophie out. She, I think on Facebook, the rebrand has now flown through so that her page is now Turtle Bay Textiles. updated from the previous business name. She is also on Etsy and over on Instagram as well. I will pop all the details in the comments box. So I think I'd have to double check. I think you can buy this bundle on her Etsy as well. So that is one. The word turtle gets you the chance to win the gorgeous Fat Quarter bundle. The other thing I'm going to give away, because by the time I do my next update video they'll be done, is my stockings pattern, because I'm not the kind of person who keeps this kind of thing, and I would much rather pass it on and let someone else stitch this gorgeous pattern. It would be a great one to do, like they only take 1 to 2 days, I would say, so it would be a lovely one to do throughout the year, maybe one a month, and then you'd have them for next Christmas. So this is 12 days of Christmas stockings, Annie B's faux art. I will be honest, it's a little bit like, it's used, it's loved, it's a well-loved pattern, and it does have on a little post-it note there my conversion, so that I don't forget, but I'll happily leave that in there for you. So if you would like to win this one, please use the word Christmas in your comment. And for both of those, I will pick a random name at the end of November and announce the winners in my next update video. Okay, so turtle and Christmas are the two options for winning prizes. And I wanted to do that now, even though I've not quite finished the stockings, because I would love to get that to someone as almost like a bit of a Christmas present. So yeah, that is all from me. I have definitely not stuck to my timing plan, but I feel like I had a lot to show this month, so yeah, I will wrap it up there. Thank you so much if you've made it this far. Thank you for watching. Thank you for coming back if you're a returning viewer. I really appreciate you coming on this journey with me, and I hope you've enjoyed seeing what I've been stitching on. That's all from me. If you're coming to Floss Friends, come say hi. I'm really terrible with names and faces, so yeah, come say hi, let me know who you are. It would be lovely to meet some new stitchy friends, and yeah, I will be back in 2 weeks with my December plans video. Bye for now.